Well, here I am. This time it's daylight. I'm in front of a Catholic church in the West Village, Our Lady of Pompeii Church. As you can see, it's Our Lady of Pompeii. It's a famous Catholic church here on Carmine Street and Bleecker, just west of 6th Avenue. And you can see inside. I got here a little late because I was doing the BAI News, but friends of mine are in there. They won't allow any more people in. Outside there was a public speak out. It got pretty heated after a while. You can see it back there. There's a PA system, and people were talking about how angry they are that it's mostly people of color who are suffering and being driven out of this park by the 10 p.m. curfew. The issue is being debated inside, and there is a tremendous amount of controversy here in the West Village neighborhood, Greenwich Village, over this issue. You can see the street is blocked out, and you can see behind me is the open mic that's going on with people from the park getting online to speak and express their feelings. The police are, I wouldn't say very friendly, but they're not doing anything provocative at this moment. But as you can see, it's quite a turnout of officers, and we're going to come down over here and I'll show you. Behind me is the speak out that's been happening now for quite some time. People who were not allowed into the meeting, and you can see and hear that. And behind me are the officers who are sort of guarding the entrance. There are a few less than there were a moment ago. There were quite a lot of them before at one point. I think, sometimes it just looks, the optics aren't that great, so they pulled them out. But there was quite a lot earlier. The ones in the blue pullover shirts are the community cops. The ones, I don't know really what they do that's any different from the regular ones. But you can see they're the community patrol, and they always turn out to these type of events, the public events. Now, they wouldn't let me indoors. They said it's at capacity inside the church, and we're going to get a report when folks inside. As I said, I got here late, so I wasn't able to get in. But I think it's sort of interesting here on the street, really, to talk about this and what's going on. You can see here's Carmine Street is blocked off to traffic, and I'm waiting to see. There's a limo. I don't know, behind me when I'm standing over here, you can see a black limo, and the way it's parked, sort of catty corner to the building. I assume that means that it's somebody important, some very important person. So there's probably some high-level government officials. Now you would say, why are high government officials involved in this? Because the church, Judson Memorial Church, which is right on the park, came out against the curfew. Many people came out against the curfew because they didn't like the way the police handled it in the last few weekends. And but I'm told by Eric Adams, who I interviewed earlier today, you can see it on my WBAI, at WBAI, I'll be putting it on my site later on, that if you ever want to find my material, just go to pauldirienzo.com, pauldirienzo.com. And I don't know, maybe I'll see. People are very upset, so I'm going to try and have them come on, but I find that I don't want to stir up any trouble. But let's see. Hi, I'm live streaming to the world, and people want to know why you guys are here all over the place.
All right. Because there's a park where a lot of college students, people in the community, protesters, people want to go out on a date, walk their park, you know what I'm saying? That's what's been going on in the park. Sometimes a lot of parties going on there. But like I said, there's a bunch of colleges around that park. So the people who live in that area have been calling the police, making complaints, because they say they're seeing a lot of drug use and violence. When I go in the park, I don't see no drug use and violence. I do see homeless people, mental health patients who aren't getting any help. That's why they're in the park all day. And I see college students and people of all color, all backgrounds coming together and enjoying themselves. But lately, the past 2 weeks, the police had to come in there at 10 p.m. with a curfew that they made up. This is not a curfew by law. This is a park that the NYPD made up. They've been coming and brutalizing peaceful people, kids, families, anybody's getting beat on for not leaving the park after 10 p.m. due to the complaints from the rich people who are moving out of the area.
Thank you very much.
To be more specific, the real problem is a lot of the residents are complaining about the noise in the park. which makes them not want to come, which making them move out and making people not want to come. So they're losing money. So this isn't about you. This isn't about the residents that live there either. They don't care about what you go. They want you to stay in their neighborhood and keep your money. This is all about money.
He said to me, Eric Adams is running for mayor, who wants to close the park. He's one of the people who sort of, he says,
fuck Eric Adams.
Yeah, he says this represents the whole city, and they don't want this to be what this people think New York City is all over the world.
Nah, don't tell Eric Adams to fall down the stairs, respectfully.
As you can see. And that's true. Adams told me that he wants this park to represent the city as a whole. Therefore, the people who live here, the people who use the park, aren't the say. The say is the top officials of the city who see this as a central location and don't like the image that it's giving out of the city. They say drugs, but of course, every day we turn around and more drugs are being legalized. So, I mean, if they just had places, you know, to be honest with you, Maya Wiley is running. She's getting a lot of support from George Soros, who wants to legalize drugs. So I imagine if Wiley were to win, we'd move towards legalizing we already legalized marijuana, heroin and cocaine and things like that, and maybe set up places where people can shoot up like they do in other countries, and they wouldn't have to do it in a park. So you can't have it both ways. If you have heroin illegal and you don't let people shoot it up anywhere that's watched over, like a facility, which they have in other countries, then where are they going to do it? You know, and you're just saying don't do it. Well, it's not like that. A lot of people get hooked because they were in pain, because they were given pills for an injury or things like that. Next thing you know, they're on it, you know, and it's not like the old story where they just don't want to work. You know, nobody can find any work anyway. So, you know, that's it. Drugs, that's always the go-to, you know, every time they want to change the use patterns of a park in order to make it something that is more representative of what the business and leadership of New York City wants the city to be seen as by tourists around the world. That I know is, and Eric Adams told me pretty much, not exactly those words, but close to them, that's how his feeling was about it. It's not up to the neighborhood. It doesn't matter what the neighborhood wants. It doesn't matter what the people in the park want. There's larger, more powerful forces who want something different. And I think that's what we're fighting here, and that's why they're having this meeting. The government people are reading the Riot Act to the residents. Some of them have jobs and nice homes and can afford it, and you know, are reasonable people. They're reading the Riot Act to them right now that your say isn't what's key in this situation. It's the ruling interests of this city want, not what the neighborhood people want. You know, and I think that's sad.
And that's where black people used to live at.
They made the first black school there.
But I also have a history. I also have a history of Washington Square Park, which I will discuss later after. We need to stop saying we cannot have no more speakers, no more skateboards, no more bicycles. Why is it called Washington Square Park? Keyword park. A place where you exercise, to hang out with your friends, to ride on whatever you like to ride on, to listen to whatever you want to listen to blast any music you like to listen to. It is not a park where you have rules. The rules that you have in the park is to be respectful and be respectful to others. It's not telling me that I cannot play music in the park. It's not telling me I cannot ride around. It's not telling me I cannot take a nice walk around the park. Because if you're telling me I cannot skateboard, I can't ride my bike, or I can play music, nigga, you're telling me that I can even exercise. That's it. That's what I hear. So when that man said that we need to not have any more skateboards, no more bicycles, no more blasting music, he is saying that we are not allowed to exercise anymore. We're not allowed to be in there anymore. The only thing that we're allowed to do is to not even be stepping foot in that park. That man does not want to have liberation. That man does not want to have abolition. And I promise you that man will never get any of those, because what I heard from him today does not mean that he wants to learn anything. He does not want to unfuck himself. He does not want to unfuck the world. He wants to keep fucking with racism. He wants to keep fucking with white supremacy. He wants to keep fucking with the system. And that's what we need to burn down. We're not ending that shit down. We're not shutting it down. We're burning it down. That's all we're going to do is burn it down. Also, with the history of Washington Square Park, in 1789, Washington Square Park was not a place where us black people would have fun. Washington Square Park has a brutal history.
The rage is clear.
With black people.
The potential of conflict is really there.
Washington Square
So
Park
what is Cop Watch here for?
Watch the
where you
police,
can catch
exactly what it's saying.
anybody.
Watch the cops.
I'm gonna say that again.
Do you expect any trouble from the cops tonight?
I hope there's no trouble from any side. Hope everything stays calm.
I
I mean, we don't want nobody hurt, nobody arrested, so.
All right.
But we here to record and document just like what you're doing.
Thank you. Cop Watch. They're all about what I'm doing here. Only I'm watching more than the cops. I'm watching everybody. So, there it is. We got some folks on camera. We talked to some of the organizers. We listened to the speeches. And here's you can see just what was going on here. Carmine Street is blocked off by police lines. I don't really know. This is outside of, we're outside of Our Lady of Pompeii Church, where there is a huge, I'm locked out, there's too many people inside. There's a huge community meeting about the curfew that came out of nowhere on Washington Square Park, which is a very popular park here in Greenwich Village, and led to some, after you saw what happened here last year, when after the murder that happened in Minneapolis of George Floyd, the police tried to, as the mayor said, we want to get ahead of it, which means I guess things were getting a little too wild, and they came down on the park and tried to close it at 10 o'clock instead of the usual midnight, a very hot night. It led to some conflict. And that's on one of the other videos that's associated with it. I did some videos. I was there that night. I think you can find it if you look at my Facebook video page. And so they have a community meeting about it because the local church, Judson Memorial Church, which is right on the park, came out against the curfew. So that's a powerful force, represents a lot of people in the neighborhood. And what I've been told, Eric Adams is running for mayor and others, is that it has nothing to do with the community. We don't really care what the community says. This is a park a lot of tourists come to and they want to control it. It's the city needs this park to show a certain image to the tourists. And that's, I'm sort of putting some words into it, but pretty much what he's saying. And that's it, that they don't want to have a wild, youth-oriented place for people partying and, doing what they do. They call it drugs. And they make up all this stuff like that's going on. That's not really going on. If it is, it's like rare. It's like a small number of people. But they sort of do this collective punishment thing of everybody, and it makes you wonder that they're really using that. In my experience, living in the city all my life, is that they use that as an excuse because they have a larger agenda, more than even real estate. Really, the image of the city, the image that the governmental people want to show to the foreign, to the world, and as opposed to how it really is, because people love this park and come here all summer long, all night long. Now that there's been all these people are leaving the city, 20% reduction in rents and things like that, they really want to change the city image back to sort of a more Bloomberg type image of a wealthy, a rich man's, town. And it's sort of slipping in the other direction and going back to its days when I first came here, when it was just one of the world's biggest party spots, basically, for young people. And they took them years to change that, and it just as quickly just went back. And as I said, it has really nothing to do with the community thinks. They don't care one way or the other. It's just what the governmental people think.
I don't know how many of y'all know about the
it's just me making it up. That's what I talk to these governmental people, and they tell me that. Now it's a split. I mean, you have people like Maya Wiley, who's running. I talked to her yesterday, and she wants to see a different way, a different approach. Everybody says they're against curfews, but the proof is when 10 p.m. comes, what they're going to do. There you can see.
And that is a problem.
And we'll get reports later on of exactly what's going on inside this church, what's going on at this community meeting. My experience with these kind of community meetings is they can get pretty heated. There was some pretty heated discussions going on here before.
How long will it take for us? How long will it take for us to understand
state of affairs.
That it does not matter?
And this is a pretty cool neighborhood, so it's known for its radical politics, but it's also known as a place where people feel put upon, that everybody comes to their park and turns it into a huge party zone all summer long. But how many times they try and put a lid on it, it's sort of been that way for a long time. I don't know if they're ever going to really change it. It's too close to the subways. I don't think today they'd put a park so close to like 5 subway lines. It's so easy to get to, and it has such a reputation. I don't see how they're ever going to change that. And as you can see, we've talked to a bunch of people here. If you want to reel to the beginning, yeah. Unfuck the world, that's the statement here. And Black Lives Matter is very much here. And right now it's a quiet night. It's really a quiet night. Although all traffic, they block traffic on Bleecker Street, they block traffic on Carmine Street, and people are talking.
On this earth. But when will the violence end? The state-sanctioned violence. Never, as long as we continue to be content. Because that is where we are. We are content. We are allowing politicians to sweet-talk us. We are allowing our president to sweet-talk us. We are allowing people in power to sweet-talk us into believing that they will give us the change we want to see. But the truth is, the people have the power, and they will never give us the change we want to see, because only we can give us the change we want to see. These politicians are supporting a system that has always banked on the deaths of black people in underprivileged communities. Always, always. And while yes, as long as we are continuing to live in this system, we may need to vote, we may need to do things to get other politicians out and vote for the lesser evil, but it shouldn't take that. This is why we need to start practicing abolition, right? This is why we need to start practicing abolition. Because the more you know about abolition, the easier it is to realize that you don't fucking need anything in this system at all. Imagine if we all put our money together and bought land, our own fucking land, and practice a socialist society. I don't know what these white liberals are waiting for real, but ain't no way America gonna be a socialist damn society. Communism at that is not happening. So if you're waiting for that, you are highly misguided. It's time that the people, all of us, of all skin complexions, start to reclaim what is ours. This world belongs to the people. We must continue to fight. We must continue to fight. And we can no longer pinpoint activists as evil or angry or just fucking violent people, because these activists, these revolutionaries are outside day in and day out. So if you see them, support them. Shit, damn it, because we don't get paid for this shit. And every single day we come outside and we have to hear the wildest shit from people in the streets. A woman just literally called us disgusting. Literally just called us disgusting. She said, if you're here with these people, you are disgusting. And it's crazy because, bitch, we fighting for you. We fighting for her.
Right. As you can see, I'm going to sign off a little bit. I'll be back later. In the park. I'm outside of the park. I'm not crazy. I'm already outside. But that doesn't mean anything. What do you guys think about what's going on here? I'm doing a live stream for WBAI. What's happening here tonight?
I think we should make this park a cop-free zone. They are terrorizing us. We're just trying to live our lives, sit in a park at a nice summer night, and we have terrorists, the NYPD, harassing us. That's what I think about tonight.
Right.
They brought all this riot gear out at 9:27, and they have all of these lined up. They've been closing the park
It's
at
10 o'clock at
p.m.
night. This is a public park. We own this park. So why are we being thrown out?
Right. So what's going to happen tonight, do you think?
Well, you can just
Turn
show
around.
what's happening. Look at them lining up. Got comments right here, white shirts.
Yeah. So here we go. They are lined up. The white shirts have arrived. The commanders. And I'm sitting here on the bench. And we're going to try and get a good view. And we're looking up Fifth Avenue, and you can see a large number of police are lined up. So pass the word out to everybody to tune into this interesting live stream that's going on here tonight, a very unusual live stream. We don't get to do a live stream like this every.
That goddamn uniform off. RBIs. We giving out RBIs. Real bad injuries. RBIs, bitch. Put that book bag away.
Hi, Susan. Hi, Aaron. The cops are getting ready to close Washington Square Park, and there's a resistance tonight. Tonight there's resistance, and we're waiting for the cops to move.
Y'all might want to say, fuck that machine. You might want to fuck that machine. You might want to roll in this bitch.
Here's the cops over here.
This is Sergeant Lorenzo from the New York City Parks Department. It is now 10
Washington Square Park, yes, we're in Washington Square Park, and there's a Black Lives Matter protest, and the police are getting ready to evict people.
It is now 10 p.m. Washington Square Park is now closed. Please make your way to the exit. This is Sergeant Lorenzo from the New York City Parks Department. It is now 10 p.m. Washington Square Park is now closed. Please make your way to the exit. This is Sergeant Lorenzo from the New York City Parks Department. It is
It's
now
curfew
10
time.
p.m. Washington Square Park is now closed. Please make your way to the exit. This is Sergeant Lorenzo from the New York City Parks Department. It is now 10 p.m. Washington Square Park is now closed. Please make your way to the exit. This is Sergeant Lorenzo from the New York City Parks Department. It is now 10 p.m. Washington Square Park is now closed. Please make your way to the exit. This is Sergeant Lorenzo from the New York City Park Department. It is now 10
Invite
p.m.
more people to watch. I invited as many as I could think of.
Please make your way to the exit. This is Sergeant Lorenzo from the New York City Park Department. It is now
Paul Stanford from Oregon. Hey,
now closed.
Portland.
Please make your way to the
Portland
exit.
Power here in New York.
This is Sergeant Lorenzo from the New York City Park Department. It is now 10 p.m. Washington Square Park is now closed. Please make your way to the exit. This is Sergeant Lorenzo from the New York City Park Department. It is now 10 p.m. Washington Square Park is now closed. Please make your way to the exit. This is Sergeant Lorenzo from the New York City Park Department. It is now 10 p.m. Washington Square Park is now closed. Please make your way to the exit.
More bottles.
From the New York City Park Department. It is now 10 p.m. Washington Square Park is now closed. Please make your way to the exit. This is Sergeant Lorenzo from the New York City Park Department. It is now 10 p.m. Washington Square Park is now closed. Please make your way to the exit.
Assembly is unlawful.
Let's go, guys. Let's go in. Let's go.
This assembly is unlawful. You are ordered to disperse. If you leave voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you. If you refuse to leave, you will be arrested for unlawful assembly.
And as you can see, the police have moved in. People ran into the park. I'm not sure what's going on inside of there. But you see officers on bicycles.
This is the New York City Police Department. This assembly is unlawful. You are ordered to disperse. If you leave voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you. You will be arrested for assault and assault. This is the New York City Police Department. This assembly is unlawful. You are ordered to disperse. If you leave voluntarily, no charges will be placed against you.
And here we are again in Tompkins Square, Washington Square Park. I guess Tompkins will be next. And there are the officers clearing Washington Square Park.
Park is closed! Park is closed!
This worth it, you fucking cunts?
They're in the park, I guess, right now. They say people are being arrested. I'm not sure. There's somebody being arrested right there. I don't know if you can see it from here. He's behind me. You can see him on his knees past the entranceway into the park through the arch. You might be able to see he's on his knees. There's somebody else being held with his hands cuffed behind him.